9 signs you carry good karma, are favored by benefactors, and blessed from above. Hello everyone. Welcome to Mind Podcast, Buddhism. Have you ever wondered why some people live so simply, never competing or scrambling with anyone, yet are always liked, helped, and seem to glide through life with uncanny ease? Have you ever looked back on your own life and quietly asked yourself, do I have merit? Am I living in a way that is sowing wholesome causes? In truth, each of us, day by day, is silently planting seeds of good and bad through every thought, every word, and every deed. Then, at some point, those seeds sprout and bear fruit, perhaps in this very lifetime, or perhaps in another. In today's video, we will gently look within and recognize 9 signs that you are cultivating good karma. You may not have noticed them before, but if you discover these qualities in yourself, congratulations, for they are precious and not everyone has them. And if you do not yet see them clearly, do not be disheartened, because the very moment you listen to these words with a sincere heart, the seed of goodness has already been sown. Sign 1. A heart that always thinks of others. There are people who live quietly in this world, never boasting about their goodness, never needing anyone's recognition, yet every action and every thought of theirs leans toward others. They may not be wealthy or powerful or hold any status, but their hearts are always warm. They cannot bear to see suffering. When they see the poor, they lose their appetite. When they see someone tired, they willingly give up their share. Even in the smallest matters, they wonder, is that person all right? Are they sad? Do they need help? Some will say this is naive, even a disadvantage. But those very people are the ones sowing the greatest seeds of merit in their lives. In Buddhism, the mind is the root. As the mind inclines, so life appears. A wholesome mind yields gentle speech and kind action. A compassionate heart softens one's words and fills one's gaze with loving kindness. When you live sincerely, without calculation, always considering others, heaven and earth quietly watch over you. In trouble, someone appears to help. In hardship, a path opens up. This is not luck, but the quiet blossoming of the wholesome causes you have been planting. Perhaps you simply helped someone wheel a bike across the street or bought a bag of sticky rice for an elderly poor person. Such small deeds, when born of sincerity, are not small at all. In the world of karma, there is a saying, one who lives with heart may not yet receive blessings, but misfortune has already kept its distance. Caring for others is the first and clearest sign of deep spiritual roots, for most people think only of themselves. The one who truly thinks of others possesses a noble heart. That very heart becomes a vessel carrying them across the storms of life. If you often think about others' feelings, peace, and joy, do not mistake it for weakness. It is merit, a gentle yet enduring strength, and you are walking on a path of karma filled with light. Sign 2. Helping others without expecting anything in return. Have you ever helped someone wholeheartedly and then simply forgotten about it? You do not need them to remember. You do not wait for repayment. You do not even need them to know who you are. You only see their need and wish to help. Some think that helping without receiving anything back is a loss. Yet in the law of karma, it is precisely this selfless act that creates the greatest blessing. When you give unconditionally, you give from the whole heart, free of ego and free of calculation. When the small self steps aside, true compassion shines forth. We often hear, do good without seeking reward. But living it is not easy, because human nature longs to be acknowledged. If you have gone beyond that longing, your heart has traveled far. You are nearing the spirit of the bodhisattva, acting without clinging, helping without holding. There are times you helped and were met with indifference, even betrayal. You felt hurt, lost faith in goodness. If you can pass through that feeling and continue to live kindly and help others, then congratulations. You are sowing the purest seeds of virtue, helping without needing to be remembered, helping and feeling light. This is no small thing. It is spiritual maturity and a clear sign that you are gathering a quiet yet enduring store of blessings. The blessing of the one who asks for nothing is natural, like rain falling on good earth. The trees thrive without anyone watering them. Without applause, without thanks, such a person keeps sowing good seeds each day. If this is how you live, smile, for you are a small light in a turbulent world, and that light will one day illuminate your own path and the paths of those around you. Sign 3. Rarely facing major calamities, often blessed with unexpected good fortune. Have you ever been through something seemingly dangerous or impossibly hard, only to escape at the last moment? Were there times when despair felt absolute, yet someone suddenly appeared to help, opening an unforeseen way out? Have you ever looked back and thought, how fortunate I was? Without that person, I would have been finished? In Buddhism, this is called protective merit. It is not random luck, but the ripening of good seeds you have quietly sown in the past, whether in this life or another. Each time you helped, forgave, or sacrificed for others did not vanish. These deeds gathered into an unseen net that catches you when you are about to fall. Heavy becomes light, light becomes nothing, danger turns to safety, darkness to dawn. Some live in wealth and success, yet meet calamity after calamity. Others are ordinary, simple, and yet are mysteriously sheltered. Why? Because they have virtue. Virtue cannot be bought with money or fabricated with fame. It arises only from a good heart and good actions. When virtue is full, misfortune finds no foothold. It may also happen that when you help someone without expecting anything, the moment you fall ill, someone appears with exactly the right prescription. When you are unemployed, someone introduces you to exactly the right job. When you are at your lowest, an arm reaches out at just the right time. To ordinary eyes, these things look like coincidences. To those who understand karma, they are blessings ripening at the right moment. If you look back on your life and see that you have had accidents yet came through unharmed, that benefactors frequently appear, that is not random. It is the sweet fruit you quietly planted long ago now coming into bloom. And if you are in a difficult period, do not be sad. Keep living well, doing good, speaking kindly, and above all, keeping your heart clear. Blessings do not arrive all at once, but they are moving toward you little by little, day by day, like dawn slowly breaking through the quiet night. Sign 4. You often find good-hearted people around you. There is a very quiet yet priceless kind of blessing. It is the auspicious affinity with good people. Think about it. Is it true that you rarely meet malicious people in your life? The people around you, from neighbors and friends to colleagues and even strangers, are for the most part decent, loyal, and conscientious. Some help you when you are in trouble. Some remind you when you slip. Some walk beside you not to take advantage or for personal gain, but simply out of genuine affection. Have you ever been in danger and a stranger reached out to save you? Have you ever been exhausted and an unfamiliar voice offered a gentle word that warmed your heart? Or when you were discouraged, did someone advise you sincerely and help you stand up again? These things are not luck. They are wholesome affinities that have ripened. According to Buddhism, the people who appear in your life do not arrive by chance. They come because you once had karmic ties with them. You helped them, cared for them, or shared something good with them. Now they return not to repay a debt, but to continue walking the wholesome path with you. By contrast, people who repeatedly meet swindlers, are deceived, and betrayed again and again, are surrounded by shared karma that has not yet been transformed. If you are fortunate to have good people beside you, know that this is your own karmic result. Those who live uprightly, honestly, and kindly naturally attract those on the same wavelength. Gentle people draw gentle friends. Those with unwholesome minds find turmoil wherever they go. There is a simple yet profound saying. If you want to know a person's blessings, look at those who walk beside them. If you find yourself living among people who are kind, loving, and considerate, remember to be grateful for that every day. Above all, keep nourishing your wholesome heart so that your shared karma becomes more refined, lighter, and better each day. A life that is light, free of gossip and envy, is a great happiness that few recognize while they still have it. Sign 5. You do not hold grudges for long, and you know how to let go. Everyone is hurt at some point in life. Someone's harsh words wound you. Someone's betrayal breaks your trust. Someone once close turns away and leaves you doubting whether you can trust anyone again. Amid those wounds, some people carry hatred for a lifetime, while others release it gently. If you belong to the second group, the ones who do not cling to resentment for long, who know how to forgive and let your heart become peaceful again, then you carry a major sign of good karma. The more one holds on to resentment, the more one suffers. Clinging makes the heart heavy. Resentment is like fire. Keep it in your chest, and you are the first to be burned. Forgiveness does not mean agreeing with what is wrong. Forgiveness is freeing yourself from a burden on your soul. To do this, you need deep inner strength and a heart that looks at others with compassion rather than blame. Many people reach the end of their lives still tormented by an old event. Some go to temples, chant sutras, and recite the Buddha's name, yet their hearts are full of hatred, and blessings cannot arise. If you have learned to let go of what is not worth holding, you have begun to walk the gentlest path of liberation. Letting go is not giving up. It is seeing clearly and setting it down so it no longer governs your mind. The Buddha taught that hatred cannot be resolved by hatred. Only love and letting go can resolve hatred. If you can forgive those who hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace, then you are sowing a greatly wholesome cause. As we grow older, we understand that keeping a light heart is the finest gift we can give ourselves. Those with good karma know when to release, so there is room for peace to dwell. Sign 6. You do not flaunt your blessings. There are people who quietly do good and never take credit. They help others and then forget about it. They give alms and act as if they never gave. They live well, uprightly, and virtuously, yet never call themselves blessed. The more blessings they have, the more humble they become. The more successful they are, the simpler they grow. The more they are admired, the more they bow their heads. This humility is a powerful sign that their blessings are genuine. Buddhism teaches that flaunted blessings are blessings being depleted, while those who keep their merit quiet are wise and have stable karma. Notice how some people help a little and tell everyone about it. At first it may be sincere, but soon the ego slips in, the desire for reputation creeps in, and good deeds become mixed with the need for praise and recognition, even competing with others through conditional kindness. By contrast, those with good karma do not need anyone to know. They do good as naturally as breathing, lightly, and without calculation. They understand that doing good for recognition is a transaction, not the sowing of causes. True sowing asks for nothing but a calm and peaceful heart. People ask, if others know about my good deed, is that a problem? It is not, as long as your mind remains pure. But if the more you do, the more you feel above others, that is conceit. The ego is quietly consuming your merit. A person with truly good karma knows that blessings should be kept like water in a jar. Leave it open and it evaporates. Stir it and it diminishes. Only guarded in stillness does merit grow and bear lasting fruit. Finally, remember this. If you live quietly, your blessings will quietly flourish. If you show off, your blessings will slowly wear away. If you have never bragged about the good you do, if you help without wanting your deeds repeated or repaid, then you are steadily and quietly accumulating wholesome karma. Sign 7. Being unconditionally cherished by others. Have you ever wondered why some people are warmly received wherever they go, without trying to win anyone over? They do not compete. They are not slick talkers, yet everyone who meets them feels affection and respect. Some people who barely know them are ready to help and trust them. Some pass lightly through others' lives, yet leave a deep fondness behind. If this describes you, congratulations. You carry a very special kind of karma. Wholesome affinities from past lives, wholesome roots. In Buddhism, this is called wholesome roots and auspicious affinities. Good causes planted long ago. Those who have learned to live kindly, to care for others, to forgive, and to give, carry into this life a very gentle energy, a kind of field of goodness. They do not need to try to make a good impression, because they themselves are already genuinely likable. A person with merit walks through life without creating new enmity, and, instead, forms wholesome connections. They speak in ways that do not wound, listen with sincerity, and live without judgment, jealousy, or envy. And as you know, in a world full of rivalry and resentment, simply having one person who makes you feel at ease and at peace is itself a blessing. Some people are not beautiful, not talented, not wealthy, yet are loved wherever they go, not because they know how to be charming, but because kindness is rooted deep within them. That is a kind of blessing that is ripened in the form of being loved unconditionally. Being loved by others is an invisible treasure of immense value. It not only makes life gentler, but also becomes a shield when hardships arise. When you fall into misfortune, there is always a hand reaching out. When your heart is weak, someone is there to comfort you. Not because you begged for it, but because you once planted something good. Conversely, if a person is shunned wherever they go, surrounded by gossip and misunderstanding, that is the time to turn inward and reflect. Everything we receive from others is a mirror reflecting the karma we ourselves have created. If you are often loved for no clear reason, not because you gave money, hold office, or outshine others, cherish it. It clearly shows you are blessed by a pure, wholesome heart. To keep that blessing enduring, there is only one thing to do. Continue living with a sincere heart. Sign 8. A calm heart, sound sleep, and easy contentment. There is a very quiet yet priceless happiness, peaceful sleep. Not everyone has it. Many seem fine on the surface. Houses, cars, status, fame. But when night falls they lie awake. Their eyes closed but the mind stays open, calculating and worrying. Fear and regret surround them like formless shadows. Others toil all their lives and own very little, yet at night they sleep deeply and sweetly like a child. If you often enjoy a peaceful sleep, no midnight jolts, no nightmares, no restless tossing over vague anxieties, know that this is a great karmic fruit. Sound sleep is not only a matter of health, it directly reflects the mind. The calmer and clearer the mind, the more natural and light the sleep. It is the wholesome fruit of an inner life free from anger, resentment, and entanglement. People sometimes say, I have nothing, but I'm healthy, I eat well, I sleep peacefully. If I can greet others with a smile, that's enough. It sounds simple, but seen through the lens of karma, that person is living in blessings without realizing it. Why do people struggle to sleep? Because their minds carry traces of resentment, the itch of ambition, the sting of regret over the past, and worry about the future. If you live simply and sincerely, without scorekeeping or grudges, your mind becomes like still water without ripples. And that stillness is the foundation of true happiness. Those with good karma are also easily satisfied. They do not demand too much of the world. A plain meal tastes good. A kind word feels warm. Seeing others happy does not arouse envy, but shared joy. Live this way. Life is not overly complicated. The heart is not overly burdened. And that is inner freedom. Many misunderstand happiness. They think it requires lots of money, a big house, and highly accomplished children. Yet even with all that, they still feel lacking, because the lack is not outside but in the mind's turmoil. Those with good karma live with enough, rather than waiting to have enough before they live. They do not need a perfect world, only a quiet heart. And that quiet heart accompanies them everywhere, in everything, at any age. If at night you lie down, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and feel light. No regret, no hatred, no great worry. You are enjoying an invisible yet priceless blessing. The older we grow, the more we feel this truth. Money cannot guarantee sleep, but a peaceful heart needs no sleeping pills. If this is how you live, without show, without fuss, whether or not others understand, you have entered the natural ease of the spiritual path that the Buddha called mindfulness and contentment. And if you are still wrestling with worries and sleepless nights, do not be discouraged. Live a little more honestly, lighten your heart a little more, forgive a little more, and night by night you will find yourself resting not only on your bed but on your own goodness. Sign 9. A constant wish to learn the way and seek truth. Amid life's busyness, not everyone sits down to ask, what am I living for? What is enough? Where will I go after leaving this world? If you have ever asked such questions, over a cup of tea, in a moment of sorrow, or during a sleepless night, then a very special karma is stirring in you, an affinity with the Dharma. Not everyone likes to hear the Buddha's teachings, nor does everyone naturally wish to read sutras, learn the way, and understand life. Some hear a few words about karma and brush it off as superstition, something for the idle. You are different. You want to understand more deeply. You feel a kinship with the teachings of the awakened ones, and most importantly, you feel your heart grow lighter each time you learn something true. You know, in Buddhism, this is called wholesome roots over many lifetimes. It means you once planted good causes in past lives, you bowed before the Buddha, recited sutras, and set a kind intention. So in this life you have a fortunate affinity with the true Dharma. More than that, if you not only want to hear the teachings but also want to live by them, to understand cause and effect deeply, to correct yourself, to lessen anger and delusion, then that is a sign that you are no longer wandering aimlessly in the fog of samsara. You are turning back toward the light. Those with good karma reach a point in life when a determination arises on its own to live differently. No one forces them, yet they see that what they once chased, name, gain, winning and losing, is fragile. So they turn back to learn to live slowly, kindly, and mindfully. Some people have made all sorts of mistakes in the past, but one day, after hearing a talk, reading a book, or meeting a teacher, their heart awakens. They are no longer who they were. They begin to avoid what is unwholesome, do what is wholesome, and keep the mind at ease. This is not an ordinary change. It is the wholesome fruit sprouting from a seed that has lain quietly in consciousness for a very long time. You see, many live their whole lives without ever asking, "What am I living for?" But you are different. If you are listening to these things, wanting to understand merit and blessing, karmic result, and the way of gentle living, you are awakening, and that awakening is the most precious gift one can receive in this lifetime. Wealth will be lost, fame will fade, loved ones will part, but a mind that turns toward the way and toward goodness will accompany you into future lives. We do not study the way to become a saint or to be lofty. We study to know who we are, what we are living for, and what to correct, little by little, day after day. If you are eager to learn the way, love to hear the Buddha's teaching, like to be near the virtuous, prefer a gentle life, and know how to let go of what is unnecessary, then congratulations, you are on the right path. This path is quiet yet very bright. Few walk it, yet it is very peaceful, and it is precisely the path of wholesome cause and effect. Have you ever asked why there is suffering you did not cause, yet must bear? Why some are deprived at birth while others have plenty? If you are quietly bracing yourself amid the injustices of this life, perhaps past karma is silently ripening. A man was born into poverty and worked hard for 35 years, but still could not change his lot. He believed heaven was unfair, until one day he heard a Dharma talk on karma and rebirth. The teacher said that in past lives some lived carelessly and selfishly, hoarding for themselves and driving others into hardship. Though they do not remember in this life, karma records it. The man fell silent. From then on he no longer blamed fate, but began living kindly and cultivating virtue, because he understood that what we call coincidence is simply karma maturing after countless lives. Some suffering comes without an obvious reason. We did nothing wrong, harmed no one, yet misfortune arrives. Sometimes it is clinging poverty, sometimes chronic illness, sometimes loneliness amid familiar faces. Then we ask, why me? We blame heaven and others and resent our lot. But if we pause once, still the mind, and contemplate in the light of the Buddha's teaching, we will see that everything happening in this life is the result of deeds we have done across countless lives. The Buddha taught that no drop of water falls without leaving a trace, and no seed planted fails to bear fruit. Conditions and karmic force are the two invisible cords that bind beings to rebirth. This body, these circumstances, this suffering, are not random. They are the fruit of causes we ourselves planted in the past, sometimes in this life, sometimes in forgotten lives, sometimes in immeasurable lives beyond memory. Whether we believe it or not, karma silently operates. It does not wait for our awakening to begin, nor for our understanding before it ripens. This life is where old debts gather. There are material debts, debts of affection, debts of enmity, debts created by body, speech, and mind, debts created by ignorance, delusion, and craving. Some karma was set calling to us back when our mind lacked right understanding, when it was not clear or steady enough to see that a single wrong intention could lead us astray for many lifetimes. And now we carry on our shoulders what we ourselves once sowed and let go. Therefore do not ask, why do I suffer? Ask, what have I sown? Do not ask, why does that person do evil and still live at ease? Understand that karma has its time and fruit has its season. Trees do not sprout in the same season. Some seeds bear fruit at once, some remain hidden. Some seeds are repaid in this very life. Some must wait 3 lives until the conditions and soil are sufficient for fruit to appear. All is recorded by the wisdom of the universe, not a hair's breadth off, not a single thought omitted. Each person is born carrying an invisible baggage, karmic force. According to that karma, each will have a different fate, circumstance, and journey. One who meets adversity is not being punished, but repaying. One who enjoys ease is not being rewarded, but harvesting. All of it is created by ourselves, not granted by any deity, not imposed by any fate. Knowing this, we no longer complain. We begin to live differently, not running from karma or fearing it, but being grateful for it, because it reminds us to live awake and kind, responsible for each intention, each word, each small act. Who knows, a single thought today could be the reason we must return to this world for another life. Suffering itself is not what we should fear. What is fearful is not knowing why we suffer and continuing to plant the causes that make us suffer more. Understanding karma is not to imprison ourselves in fear, but to begin the path of liberation through mindfulness, letting go, cultivation, and compassion even for those who have hurt us, because perhaps they too are repaying debts as we are. That is where the real lesson begins, not out in the world but in the mind, not tomorrow but right now, in each breath you take. A lay follower once asked a Zen master, "If everything is determined by karma, can anyone avoid it?" The master replied, "No, no one can. It is like throwing a stone into a lake. Even if you do not see the surface, the stone will still sink. So it is with karma. Once planted, it will be met. It does not disappear by mere wish." The man awoke to this, for he now understood that karma does not discriminate against anyone, whether rich or poor, learned or ordinary. Precisely because no one can avoid it. Only practice can transform the karma we have created. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha taught, beings are the owners of their karma, the heirs to their karma, born of their karma, supported by their karma, and with their karma, they are reborn. Karma is not a fate imposed from outside, nor is it the punishment of any deity. Karma is exactly what we have thought, said, and done, engraved in consciousness, accumulated over countless lifetimes, and operating like a quiet current guiding each life. A single wholesome thought that arises is already a good seed sown in the field of the mind. A single unwholesome act, however small, is a cause that gives rise to suffering. Nothing we create through the three avenues of body, speech, and mind is ever lost. It falls into the storehouse of consciousness, grows and ripens over time, and when conditions are sufficient, it bears fruit. Like a seed sown in the earth that may sprout the very next season or lie dormant through many springs and summers, it never disappears. One cannot escape karma, climb the highest mountain, dive to the deepest sea, hide in a remote forest, or live in a crowded city. Karma follows like a shadow to the body, like sound to speech. Karma accompanies us through each lifetime. This body is the fruit of karma. This mind is the crystallization of karma. The circumstances we meet, the people we love, those who hurt us, the opportunities that arrive or the disasters that strike, all arise due to karma. Nothing happens without a cause. No one comes and goes without carrying the threads of cause and effect. People often mistake karma as only something bad, as suffering, but in truth there is wholesome karma and unwholesome karma. Some are born intelligent, gentle, and naturally inclined to practice. That is the fruit of good karma previously sown. Some in this life live ethically, help others, and perform good deeds yet still meet much misfortune, not because this life is wrong, but because the fruit of former karma is ripening, while the wholesome causes they now plant are still sprouting for future lives. Those who do not understand karma live in resignation, blaming heaven and others, dissatisfied with their lot. Those who understand karma know that everything occurring is an opportunity to repay, to learn, to practice, and to be liberated, without complaint, without begging, living only with mindfulness and responsibility. They do not run away or shift blame, for the more one runs, the more karma pursues. Only by looking directly and choosing to live wholesomely does karma loosen. As clear water does not hold debris, a pure mind leaves karma no doorway to enter. Why can no one escape karma? Because no one can escape themselves. Karma is the shadow of the self, the footprints of each arising intention, the universe's response to what we have sent out. Whether by accident or design, karma records everything without omission. Like a mirror reflecting every face, Karma shows us exactly what we have done, no more, no less. Understanding karma is not to live in fear, but to live with right view, to know what to create rightly, to keep the mind clear, to do what is good. Those who sow good causes will reap good fruit. Those who amend old karma through practice transform the current of their lives. When we are awake enough to live in each moment, we cease creating new karma. What remains is the journey of resolving old karma and moving toward the genuine peace of our own mind. This is the path the Buddha walked, and it is a path anyone can walk with sufficient resolve and wisdom. There was a woman suffering in her marriage, a callous husband, and unruly children. She had complained about her fate, believing she did not deserve such treatment. But during a summer retreat, hearing a Dharma talk on karma across 3 lifetimes, she wept. She recalled how, in youth, she abandoned a lover in his hardest hour and caused her parents deep sorrow through her defiance. She realized that karma does not vanish. It only has not yet arrived. And now she was reliving the feelings others once endured because of her, so she could learn compassion and atone through awakening. Not everyone believes in rebirth, and not everyone accepts that what they bear in this life is the result of deeds from immeasurable past lives. Yet the Buddha taught clearly, to know the causes of past lives, look at the results of this life. To know the results of future lives, look at the causes of this life. That saying is like a lamp in the night of ignorance, pointing straight to the truth that every circumstance, every relationship, every suffering or happiness we experience is not random, but the continuation of a chain of causes and effects spanning many lives. Some open their eyes in wealth, others in extreme poverty. Some receive love easily, others go a lifetime without feeling truly loved. Some succeed with modest effort, others struggle despite hundreds of attempts. Viewed through the ordinary eye, we call this fate, luck, or injustice. Seen with the wisdom eye of the Dharma, we recognize the karmic results accumulated over many lifetimes, ripening now. Some are bullied, harmed, or betrayed throughout life without knowing why. Some repeatedly fall into harsh relationships. Love turns to suffering, closeness to fracture. These are not coincidences. They may be old karmic ties returning. Perhaps we once did something similar to someone in another life, and now we meet again, not to prolong hatred, but to settle accounts, learn thoroughly, and let go lightly. Life is a stage of encounters that all have their reasons, and the script of our life is largely written by the causes we have planted. Many ask why the wicked live in comfort while the kind suffer loss. The Buddha did not teach us to judge an entire life by a single moment. One who does evil today yet enjoys good results does so because past merit remains. Likewise, one who plants good today but still meets hardship does so because old unwholesome karma is still bearing fruit. Karma is not punishment. It is the universe's adjustment restoring balance. We may evade worldly law, but we cannot evade the law of cause and effect. The truth is that karma does not need our memory to arrive. It comes when conditions are ripe. In this life, we may not remember whom we harmed, whom we abandoned, or what enmity we sowed, but karma never forgets. It lies still, waiting for the right time, the right conditions, the right people, and then quietly appears. It may return as a calamity, a fated entanglement, a painful loss, or a string of seemingly senseless adversities. Viewed with an awakened mind, we see that karma comes to help us repay, not to make us collapse. With this understanding, we live differently. We no longer ask, "Why is this happening to me?" but begin to ask, "What am I meant to learn from this?" We do not resent those who hurt us. We recognize that perhaps we once hurt them first. We do not run from adversity. We accept it as part of the work of transformation. Seeing the deep roots of suffering, we no longer clutch and bind. We know how to set things down and live more peacefully amid life's uncertainty. Nothing is meaningless. Not a single tear falls without being recorded in the current of karmic results. Not one sigh is wasted. Each act of endurance, each letting go, each forgiveness is a partial repayment of old debts, lightening the luggage of samsara and bringing us closer to true spiritual liberation. This is the path the Buddha walked, and if we have enough faith and mindfulness, we can walk it too, beginning with the clear understanding that what we bear today may be the result of countless lives. A businessman once very successful went bankrupt overnight after being defrauded. Left with nothing, he fell into depression and moved like a lost soul. A friend took him to the temple to hear the Dharma. There, the abbot told a story of a man who had cheated and exploited the weak for many lifetimes. In this life, those ill-gotten gains ripened, but the time also came to repay them. The man fell silent. From then on, he accepted starting over, did honest business, and helped the poor, because he understood that money can arise from greed as a debt, but only merit can keep it long. Money comes and goes. Wealth arises and decays, ordinary facts of an impermanent world. But to the Buddhist eye, money is not merely a means of livelihood. It is also a concrete expression of karmic results from countless lives. Those born into abundance, those who live in debt and lack, those who earn much yet watch it slip through their fingers. All of this lies within the law of cause and effect. Karma around wealth is among the deepest because it is tied to greed, one of the three roots of rebirth. Some, in past lives, practiced generosity, helped others, and did not cling to possessions. So in this life they are provided for and free from worry over food and clothing. Some stole, seized, deceived in trade, and used schemes for illicit gain. So in this life they carry the karma of debt. They work hard yet remain short, struggle all their days, and never feel full. Some owed money they never repaid or destroyed others' property and drove them into ruin. So in this life they must repay in corresponding forms. Accidents, losses, fraud, or being born already burdened with karmic debts. Yet material debt is not only external loss, it is also the inner sense of bondage, anxiety, and constant unease. Some live in chronic scarcity with a heart always afraid, afraid to spend, afraid to live, feeling as if carrying a heavy load at all times. This signals deep karmic patterns around wealth. Outwardly one may earn much, yet inwardly never feel enough. The tighter the grasp, the deeper the entanglement and suffering. Money does not naturally come to a heart still soiled by greed, to a mind not yet clear or wise to cause and effect. Seeing that wealth is karmic fruit, we cease envying the rich, scorning the poor, or lamenting our own lack. We know each person is harvesting exactly what they have sown. Those with merit have, those whose merit is spent lose. To enjoy merit without sowing more is to exhaust it. To enjoy without merit is to borrow, and loans must be repaid. This is the cycle of samsara not only in birth and death, but also in every coin and every material debt. A student of the Buddha neither avoids money nor worships it. They understand that money is a means, a karmic result, and an opportunity to plant new causes. If poor, they do not complain but live purely, drawing fullness from the heart. If rich, they are not arrogant, but share, give, and use wealth to create merit. To speak of Buddhism is to speak of the law of karma, a principle by which we ourselves bear responsibility for our actions, not one decreed by any deity. People enter this world different in every way, some beautiful, others plain, some wealthy, others poor, some healthy, others living with illness or disability, some keen-minded, others dull. All of this is governed by cause and effect extending from many past lives into the present and onward into the future. The law of karma covers all things. Because they do not understand karma, many chase status and possessions, fight and harm one another, blood spilled and heads rolling, creating much unwholesome karma and then receiving bitter results. Those who trust the law of karma never seek happiness greedily, selfishly, or cruelly. They constantly plant wholesome causes, bring benefit to others, and devote their whole heart to serving all beings. The happiness or suffering in our life is of our own making. Knowing this, we do not blame others, curse the heavens, or attribute everything to fate. The law of karmic cause and effect is the root of both happiness and suffering. When people think of Buddhism, they often think of karma, an essential principle governing the lives of humans and all beings in the universe. It is not merely a philosophical theory, but an unchanging truth that every deed, word, and thought leaves an imprint and produces results in the future, near or far, in this life or many lives to come. Unlike beliefs that human destiny is arranged by a deity, Buddhism affirms that all differences between people, from circumstances and appearance to intelligence, blessings, and suffering, are direct or indirect results of past actions. Some are born beautiful, intelligent, and wealthy. Others are poor, plain, sick, or live with disabilities or limited intellectual capacity. These differences are not random or unjust. They arise from wholesome or unwholesome causes each individual planted in the past, now ripening into corresponding results. The law of karma is not confined to a single lifetime, but stretches across many, from past to present and onward to the future. It operates like an unbroken chain, not erring by even a hair's breadth. Therefore, those who understand and trust this teaching always look back to themselves and live responsibly with every thought and action, rather than blaming others or complaining about fate. Sadly, in modern life, not everyone recognizes this. Many are engrossed in chasing fame, power, and wealth, resorting to any means, even harming others, to achieve personal ends. By planting unwholesome seeds, greed, selfishness, hatred, they silently create bad results for their own future. By contrast, those who clearly understand karma will never seek happiness by unjust means. They know true happiness does not come from taking, but from giving, serving, and living virtuously. They strive to plant good seeds, from small acts like a friendly smile and a sincere word to helping others and keeping the mind pure. Such deeds not only bring immediate joy but also lay the groundwork for future blessings. Understanding the law of cause and effect is also a way to live at ease, no longer blaming others, life, or the heavens. Each of us will reap what we have sown. No one can suffer in our place, and no one can bestow blessings on us if we do not make the effort to practice and live righteously. This realization makes us free, unbound by prejudice or fate, and able to actively transform our lives in a positive direction. The law of karma is not punitive but a fair and compassionate lesson of the universe. It encourages people to incline toward goodness, to cultivate loving kindness, and to help build a harmonious, just, and compassionate society. When each individual sows wholesome causes, the whole community enjoys the sweet fruit. Therefore, understanding and living by the law of karma is the key to opening the door to true happiness. It is the path the Buddha and the Bodhisattvas have walked, leaving a light to guide all beings across the sea of suffering to the shore of peace.